Blunier. Here. Hilliard. Leach.
Here.
Mennel. Here. Newman. Parrott.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Will you join me in pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no public hearing, presentations, or special comments, so we'll invite the public up to the podium. And welcome.
Got a little. Thank you, Village Board and staff, for giving me an opportunity to speak just for a couple minutes. I have two items that I wanted to update the village on. We held a disc golf tournament back in April from the 25th to the 28th. We were lucky enough to be granted a tourism grant for that event. I don't typically read off of a paper, but I've got a bunch of numbers and stats I'm going to rattle off, so bear with me if you would. There are only 4 major tournaments on the professional disc golf tour each year, and we hosted one of those in April. It's called the Champions Cup. And it is one of the few major tournaments that is hosted at one course only. A lot of these tournaments are hosted between a couple courses. We've been lucky enough to host one other major in the past. In 2019, we hosted the World Championships. That was split between our courses and Eureka. This Champions Cup was held solely here in Morton, Illinois, so it was an awesome event here for us, for the community, regardless of the weather that we dealt with. We had professional competitors from 38 states and 6 different countries who competed in that tournament, generated at least 250 Morton hotel nights booked, as well as other significant spending within the community. At the height of the championship rounds of the tournament, we had 381,212 unique streaming viewers online, which is pretty cool. And our post-production videos that were done with the media who was there are currently sitting just over 2 million views on YouTube. So a lot of exposure for hosting an event like this for our area courses. Hosting events of this caliber drive year-round tourism to Morton. It's very common to drive out to Northwood Park and see many different state license plates in the parking lot. Those people are coming to our community, seeing what we have to offer. Obviously coming for disc golf, which we have 3 great courses, but seeing what else our community has to offer, spending money at our restaurants, our hotels, our gas stations. So I do appreciate you all granting us that grant for the tourism. Thank you all for the staff who helped make it possible. I know police had a visible presence throughout the tournament. I appreciate that. That was a last minute addition, but that was a very helpful for us out there on site. Also like to thank all of the staff members who helped out leading up to the tournament to make it a success. So I do have a Northwood Park Champions Cup disc that I'm going to present to the village here. It has the autograph of Andrew Presnell, who won the tournament. So,
But you're right, that's going to look good in the mayor's office.
that's right. So,
Where's it going? Is there room?
Again, we'll move a few things to Julie's office.
You gotta take something down.
I've had the opportunity to work at other park district and other parks departments throughout the state, and these types of opportunities where we're able to work together, what really, I say it a few times at least, a handful of times a year, what make this community such a great place to call home and where we work and where we live. So thank you for all of your cooperation and help on those. Now I have a request for another one of those opportunities where we all get to work together. We will be, for the 4th year in a row, hosting the Village of Morton Community Independence Day celebration on July 3rd out at McClellan Park. I've given you each a handout there for this event. We've got bands scheduled with the Morton Fine Arts Association. We have a number of food vendors who will be on site. We've added sucre this year, which is very exciting to see one of our local vendors get an opportunity to come out. We wouldn't be able to do this event without Village of Morton staff. The police, the streets department, the fire department all make this possible, and it's just another great opportunity for us to cooperate to make something just great for our community. So I am asking that the board tonight approve $12,500 to go towards the fireworks contract. That fireworks contract has increased this year, but I am not asking the village to put any more towards that contract than you have in the past. That contract currently sits at $24,999.99. I'm sorry, Yeah, 24,999.99. So I appreciate the cooperation, the help with that, and would appreciate the board's consideration in that expense. You have any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Thank you. The consent agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, June 3rd, 2024, and the approval of the bills. Do you have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
motion carries.
I have tonight the request on behalf of the Park District, the $12,500 for half the cost of the Morton fireworks display to be paid to the Morton Park District.
Move to approve. Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Village Clerk,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Village Administrator.
I have one item tonight, Your Honor. I have the building improvement grant recommendation from the Business District Commission.
Move approval. Second.
This is for, the applicant is Ace Duran, who built the new building basically on the edge of South Main before you hit the interstate. They're looking for assistance with their landscaping. Total project cost is $10,910, so one half of that amount would be $5,455.
And they're aware if it dies, they need to replant it?
Yes,
Okay.
as long as, yeah. We had that discussion during the meeting.
Okay. Is there any other questions? Do we have a motion yet?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Call the roll.
Parrot,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Blunier. Yep. Motion carries.
Chief of Police,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
thank you. Corporation Counsel
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
and Director of Public Works.
Several items tonight, Your Honor. First, item A is a resolution authorizing purchase of real property from Griner, McCallie, Rue for Flint Avenue Extension.
Do you have a motion?
Move to approve that. Second.
Yeah, this is the 1.021 acres that's been discussed for Flint for $63,000. That's about all I have on that, but this is a big part of the Flint Avenue
Okay.
work.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Leach,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, item B, I'd like to ask for acceptance of bid for exterior protective coating restoration for the North Main Street Water Tower in the amount of $247,600 and award of contract for same to Trico LLC out of Pacific, Missouri.
We have a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
And just quickly, we budgeted $250, so it falls under that. There's still some potential savings. We did add a mixer, but we do have one on the shelf, so we're hoping to even knock off another $10,000 to $15,000 and reuse what we have. Just a couple quick notes, the plans, the paint it white. That's the preferred color to prevent algae growth and all that, so pending anything different, that's the plan. That's the same color it is today. There will be two logos, one facing the interstate, one facing town, and the plan is, it's actually the same logo that's on the front here, the same thing that's on the welcome to Morton. So it'd be Morton, same letters, with the real clean pumpkin with the stem on the top. So other than that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions? So this would be the one close to Caterpillar. All right, call the roll.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, item C, I'd like to waive formal bidding and the acceptance of proposal from Drake Scruggs Equipment out of Springfield for a Stellar T-Max 111 aluminum mechanics body and 8630 frame package in the amount of $178,200. I'd like to also include D with that because they actually go together, if I could. Pat, is that fair?
As long as the board doesn't object, you can combine.
So item D, I'd like to waive formal bidding and acceptance of proposal from Carl Ford out of Story City, Iowa for a Ford F550 four-wheel drive regular cab chassis in the amount of $57,989.
We have a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Yeah, so we've been working on this for quite some time. They're separated. This is the best price we can get for the chassis. And Drake Scruggs, who I've been working with for 3 or 4 years, never bought anything. They work with them. The reason why we're separating is there's no markup on it, and they do charge storage due to limited space in Springfield, so the chassis will probably be done before the crane body's in. So we would bring it here, store it inside in our facility, so that's the only reason we're separating these two items. I know they're out of Iowa. Typically, we would want to use Illinois, but they work directly. We have had issues of coordination in the past, so I would prefer to work with these two, and I think that's as good a price as we're going to get anywhere.
I have a question.
Yep.
On here, it talks about the DSE furnished with Drake Scruggs equipment furnished 2024 Ford 550. Is that,
I'll clean that up, but
Okay.
yeah, talking to Mike Reed from Drake Scruggs.
okay.
Yeah, so we'd pay Carl, and they would
So you pay the
deliver it to us.
Carl, they deliver it to us, and then the 178 is on top of that.
That's on
That's
top,
not-
yes.
That does not include the.
Yeah, and so when they're ready, we will drive that chassis down. So it'd be two guys drive it down and come back, and then that'd be the plan to Springfield. So we've been working on this for quite some time, several years. We have an old 15-year-old just on the back of a bumper, so this is the real deal. You know, we're kind of in a pickle now if you have an issue, but our 4 lift stations to pull pumps, motors, working the clarifiers, which we've had to have to do recently. So this is a 30-foot crane, should be able to do the trick of everything we need for 15, 20 years, easy. We should be able to use it for other departments also, but this would be mainly a wastewater truck.
That's my question. What are you currently using, and what do you expect this to be used for?
Yeah, that's the main thing, pumps, motors. A lot of it's emergency stuff too, which we do have problems from time to time in our lift stations, but this will be able to handle that. Right now, we're at the point of having to rent or come up with things right now, so it's time. I don't know if you've seen the old one before, but it was kind of a rigged up deal on the back of a bumper. It's done. And I did leave some pictures and stuff in front of you. Sorry for not sending that to you before, but that gives you an idea of what it looks like. It is a regular cab.
And when do you expect this to be in service?
We're thinking the chassis will be here in a couple months, but we still could be 4 or 5 months by the time we get it and be using it.
Good question.
Get the box. Correct.
Exactly, yeah, get everything.
Any other questions?
That's all I have.
Call the roll.
Leach.
Yes.
Blunier. Yes. Parrot.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I do have one other item. Item E is a proposed resolution to donate 450 square feet of land to IDOT for Birchwood intersection widening.
Move to approve.
Second.
Yeah, so this is just a little triangle at the southeast quadrant of Birchwood and Erie. It's a little unique, but IDOT likes to take their right-of-way back to the, off right-of-way to the radius return, basically. So this is basically us donating it in the name of IDOT. So we're donating it, it's 450 square feet. There's a picture on the plat in there, but wanted to get approval from all you before we do that. So pretty simple.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Blunier. Yes. Parrot.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Okay, zoning and code,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
thank you. Village trustees, anyone have anything? We do need closed session, so if we could have a motion to go to closed session.
So, before, so you want me to read it? Your Honor?
Yes, you
Closed
please.
session is requested tonight pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C5 to discuss the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the village.
Okay, and there will be action afterwards. So we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
You gotta call the roll for that.
Mennel.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Blunier. Yes. Leach.
Yes.
Motion carries. Blunier.
Here.
Hilliard. Leach.
Here.
Mennel.
Here.
Newman. Parrot. Here. We have a quorum.
Okay. Do you want to read that, or?
Yes, so the agenda item that we'd return back to is a resolution authorizing the purchase of real property from David J. Neep Trust, known as 325 South First Avenue. Motion on that.
If we have a motion,
Take it off the table.
Okay,
The force.
is there a second?
Second. So procedurally, modifications that I think are needed to this action item would be, and these modifications need to be approved by motion, so you'd have a motion to amend, and then if the amendment passes, you call the vote on the underlying, but I think a motion is needed to approve a couple amendments. First amendment is to amend the contract to provide for a $33,000 holdback from the purchase price to be held in escrow with McGrath Law Office escrow account, and to be released from escrow only upon the property being cleaned up as agreed. And then the second amendment would be to extend the lease term, so the lease would run for 1 calendar year beginning on the closing date. And then the third amendment I would suggest be made to the contract is to extend the closing date as time has got, with there being an extra meeting in here, I'd suggest we extend the closing date out to July 12th, on or before July 12th. So one easy way to make that motion, which I sometimes do other places, I don't often do here, is you could say so moved, and by doing so incorporate without having to repeat everything I just said.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
So the vote is to approve the amendment, not the underlying action.
And we don't have to approve taking it off the table.
The motion and the second put it back on the table. So
Okay.
it's now on the table and appropriate to act on the amendment.
All right,
Is
anybody
that
got
approving all the amendments
Yes,
together?
one motion, 3 amendments.
any other questions? Call the roll.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot,
No.
Okay.
No.
Man, you're testing my Roberts here. Actually, it's a majority vote on an amendment would approve it. It's the ordinance that requires a supermajority. So a majority of
So that one
those in
carries.
attendance vote yes, so the
Okay.
amendment carries.
amendment carries.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
So-
Any,
So the ordinance, the amendment is carried, so now the ordinance is on the table as amended. So now we need a vote to approve the amended ordinance.
so we have a motion?
Nope, you already have a
Nope,
motion,
okay.
so you just need to call it.
Call
Unless
the
there's
roll.
discussion.
Blunier,
Yeah, so if I can speak briefly,
Yep.
just to clarify, because it gets complicated when we have an amendment. So we had 3 yea votes, and I asked for Jeff's vote to be called. I shouldn't have done that. It's majority carries on the amendment. The ordinance requires the approval of 4. So I would suggest that the approval of 4 would facilitate the amended offer being presented as the village's final position to the seller, because it is deviating from the position last expressed to the seller. It does require 4 votes to approve the purchase, so if there are not 4 votes to approve the purchase, the ordinance fails, and then we would have no final action on, the ordinance would fail for lack of the 4 yea votes being required to attain passage. So you're voting yea or nay to authorize essentially the execution of the contract, which includes thereby submitting the offer, counter offer back to the sellers.
Okay.
Does that
Got it?
clarify where we are?
So we're gonna approve, including the 3 amendments that we just approved.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
if there's not 4 yeses, then it is,
The ordinance fails.
okay, and do I call the mayor?
Yeah, if there are 3 yes votes and all 4 trustees present have cast their vote, then you would call the mayor.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So call the vote.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
that carries.
Yep.
Yep.
Carries for
Motion
the
carries.
I think that's all we have tonight, so we can have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Adjourn. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.